Welcome back to Tungal College online classes. Hello students, how are you all? In last class you learned molar conductivity and variation of conductivity and molar conductivity with concentration. The today's topic is Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions. In short, we have to call it as Kohlrausch law. It is very important topic for PUC examination. Kohlrausch law is very important for PUC exam. The Kohlrausch law states that the limiting molar conductivity of electrolytes can be represented as the sum of the individual contribution of cations and anions of electrolyte. What is the meaning of this statement? Let us understand by taking an example. I am taking an electrolyte solution that contains Na plus and Cl minus ions. So I am taking what I meaning is I am taking water. Right, in this water I am dissolving sodium chloride. I am dissolving NaCl. When NaCl is dissolved in the water, we will get Na plus ions and Cl minus ions. We will get Na plus ions and Cl minus ions. Na plus ions is nothing but a cation and Cl minus ions are nothing but anions. So positive ions are the cations and negative ions are the anion. The limiting molar conductivity of this electrolyte is sum of the conductivities of cations and anions. The limiting molar conductivity of this electrolyte is the sum of the conductivities of cation and anion is known as Kohlrausch law. Now let us write the statement regarding it. It states that that means Kohlrausch law states that the limiting molar conductivities limiting molar conductivity of electrolyte can be represented as the sum of conductivity individual contributions of cations and anions of electrolyte. So this is the statement regarding the Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions. Limiting molar conductivity can be represented as lambda m naught. Lambda m naught is the limiting molar conductivity. It is also can be represented as E naught m, E m naught. So this is also representation of limiting molar conductivity. You can represent like this also. So lambda m naught is equal to limiting molar conductivity of electrolyte can be represented as a sum of the individual contributions of cations and anions of electrolyte. That means limiting molar conductivity lambda m naught is equal to conductivity of cations we have taken. Limiting molar conductivity of cation lambda naught positive ion. So lambda naught this positive ion cation plus we have taken limiting molar conductivity of this anion. Anion can be represented as lambda naught minus. So this is a limiting molar conductivity of cation and this is the limiting molar conductivity of anion. Limiting molar conductivity of electrolyte can be represented as a sum of the individual contributions of cations and anions of electrolyte. So this is a representation of limiting molar conductivity. If electrolyte dissociate gives V plus cations and V minus anions, then lambda m naught is given by if electrolyte dissociate gives V plus cations and V minus anions. V minus anions, then lambda m naught is given by, I'm taking a lambda m naught is equal to the number of cations formed as V plus lambda naught positive ion plus V minus here, V minus lambda naught minus. So if electrolyte dissociate gives V plus cations, number of cations formed, and V minus number of ions formed, then the lambda naught is given, lambda m naught is given by lambda m naught is equal to V plus and limiting molar conductivity of cation plus V minus limiting molar conductivity of anion. Here lambda m naught is equal to limiting molar conductivity. Limiting molar conductivity. Lambda naught plus is equal to limiting molar conductivity of positive will be there, we have to call it as a cation. Lambda naught minus is equal to limiting molar conductivity of anion. Limiting molar conductivity of anion. So this is a Kohlrausch law. Next, representation of limiting molar conductivity for some electrolytes. Representation of lambda m naught, nothing but limiting molar conductivity. So let us take one example of NaCl. So this topic is very important. NaCl dissociates into Na plus Cl minus. NaCl dissociates into Na plus Cl minus. For this case, we have to represent limiting molar conductivity. Then you can take a lambda m naught. Lambda m naught, what we took here is sodium chloride. NaCl is equal to, we got Na plus and Cl minus, cation as well as anion. Then limiting molar conductivity of cation. Limiting molar conductivity of lambda naught Na plus limiting molar conductivity of anion, lambda naught Cl minus. So this is the representation of limiting molar conductivity of NaCl. Let us take one more example. I am taking a hydrochloric acid HCl. For this case, this is dissociated into H plus Cl minus. H plus Cl minus. Then we'll get lambda m naught HCl. Lambda HCl is equal to lambda naught, what we have to write? Limiting molar conductivity of H plus ion, cation, plus limiting molar conductivity of anion, lambda naught Cl minus ion. So this is the limiting molar conductivity of anion. So this is a representation of limiting molar conductivity for hydrochloric acid. Then another example. I am taking a CaCl2. Here look at here, CaCl2. The CaCl2 dissociates into Ca plus 2 plus 2Cl minus. Then for this case, lambda m naught CaCl2 is equal to lambda naught, limiting molar conductivity of cation Ca plus 2 plus limiting molar conductivity of anion. So how many moles formed here? 2 moles. Then we can take 2 into lambda naught to Cl minus. In all the cases we took 1 only. Here is only 1 Ca plus 2 formed, but here is 2 Cl minus formed, so 2 into limiting molar conductivity of anion. So here is 1 is formed, here also 1 is formed. So that we, all the cases we took, but here is 2 Cls formed, 2 moles, so that we are taking it as 2 into lambda limiting molar conductivity of anion. Let us take NH4Cl. NH4Cl dissociate to NH4 plus Cl minus. Then limiting molar conductivity lambda m naught NH4Cl. So all these are some important electrolytes, so that I am writing for them. So we will use further. These are electrolytes we will use further, so that I am writing to them. and lambda m naught NH4 plus lambda naught NH4 plus lambda naught Cl minus. I'm taking acetic acid CH3COOH. CH3COOH dissociate into CH3COO minus plus H plus. For this case, limiting molar conductivity you can write as lambda m naught CH3COOH is equal to lambda naught, we can write CH3COO minus plus lambda naught H plus, isn't it? Then, and another example is Al2SO4 taken thrice. Al2SO4 taken thrice dissociation into Al plus 3. So how many we got? 2. 2Al plus 3 plus 3SO4 minus 2. 3SO4 minus 2. Then for this case, lambda m naught Al2SO4 taken thrice is equal to, we have to write 2 into lambda naught Al plus 3 plus how many moles is formed? 3 moles. This is 3 into lambda naught SO4 minus 2. So 2 into lambda naught Al plus 3 plus 3 into lambda naught SO4 minus 2. One more important molecule I am taking KOH, potassium, so CH3, I can take KOH, no problem, KOH. So this one dissociation to K plus OH minus, K plus OH minus. Then lambda m naught KOH is equal to lambda naught K plus lambda naught OH minus. All these are very, very important electrolytes. So lambda naught m KOH is equal to lambda naught K plus lambda naught OH minus. One more example we have CH3COONA. CH3COONA. All these are very, very important examples. CH3COONA gives rise to CH3COO minus plus Na plus. For this case, we can write the limiting molar conductivity lambda m naught CH3COONA. CH3COONA is equal to lambda naught CH3COO minus plus lambda naught Na plus. Lambda naught Na plus. Lambda naught CH3COO minus plus lambda naught Na plus. One more important example we have lambda naught NaOH. So the NaOH is NaOH gives rise to Na plus OH minus. OH minus. Then lambda naught NaOH is lambda m naught NaOH is equal to lambda naught Na plus lambda naught OH minus. So these are the some important electrolytes for this case, the representation of limiting molar conductivity. Next, applications of Kohlraasch law. In that first application, calculation of limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. This is the first application. Calculation of limiting molar conductivity lambda m naught, limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. Calculation of limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. Limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes obtained from strong electrolytes by using Kohlraasch law. What is the meaning of this statement? Let us understand by taking an example. I am taking a weak electrolyte example. I am taking acetic acid CH3COOH. Acetic acid is weak electrolyte. For this case, we have to calculate limiting molar conductivity lambda m naught value. So the limiting molar conductivity of this weak alkylate can be obtained from strong alkylates. First we can write a representation of limiting molar conductivity for this acetic acid. Lambda m naught CH3COOH. This will be dissociated into CH3COO minus plus H plus, isn't it? For this case, how to write lambda m naught CH3COOH is equal to limiting molar conductivity of anion, lambda naught CH3COO minus plus lambda naught H plus. So this is the limiting molar conductivity of CH3COO minus ion, and this is the limiting molar conductivity of this H plus ion. Then we have to choose another strong electrolytes that contains CH3COO minus and H plus. So this is our basic equation. Then what next we have to do is we have to calculate the limiting molar conductivity of this weak electrolyte. For this case, we have to select strong electrolytes that contains CH3COO minus and H plus. We have to choose strong electrolytes. Examples I will give some strong electrolytes. CH3COONA. It is a strong electrolyte. Example for strong electrolyte CH3COONA. Another example for strong electrolyte is HCl. Or you can take another example of strong electrolyte is NaCl. NaCl is strong electrolyte. And NaOH. NaOH is a strong electrolyte. So KCl is a strong. These are some examples for strong electrolytes. Example purpose. Now coming to here. So we have to select one strong electrolyte that contains CH3COO minus. And we have to select another strong electrolyte that contains H plus. So I give you some strong electrolytes, in which case CH3COO minus is there. If we select this one, we will get CH3COO minus Na plus. Strong electrolyte contain CH3COO minus. Take the strong electrolyte. Lambda m naught CH3COO Na is equal to, then what will write? Lambda naught CH3COO minus CH3COO minus plus lambda naught N plus, Na plus. So we got to CH3COO minus value here. And we have to choose another strong alkylator that contains H plus. Look at here. HCl contain H plus. Take that strong alkylator. Lambda m naught HCl is equal to lambda naught, this will be gives us a cation H plus and plus lambda naught, what will get? Cl minus, isn't it? H plus Cl minus. This is the limiting molar conductivity of cation and this is the limiting molar conductivity of anion. Then we got CH3COO minus and we got H plus. But what the problem is, Na plus is there, Cl minus is there. These values we not required, so that we have to subtract these values. So we have to choose another strong alkylator that contains Na plus and Cl minus. So this one we have to choose. Let us take lambda naught NaCl gives rise to lambda naught, what will get? Na plus plus lambda naught Cl minus. So I choose three strong alkylator. The limiting molar conductivity of weak alkylates can be obtained from strong alkylates. So the weak alkylate dissociation to CH3COO minus H plus. So we have to select a strong alkylate that contains these common ions. So as we selected CH3COONA and HCl. So we will get CH3COO minus H plus. But Na plus Cl minus excess will be there. We have to remove them. So that we have to choose NaCl. So this is represented. Then how to get the limiting molar conductivity of CH3COOH is writing formula lambda m naught CH3COOH. CH3COOH is equal to, I am taking this one, lambda naught m CH3COONA and I am adding CH3COONA and HCl plus lambda m naught HCl. These two we have to add. If we add these two, we will get CH3COO minus H plus. And Na plus Cl minus we have to remove. So that we have to subtract from lambda naught NaCl. So we will get lambda naught NaCl. So by taking this equation, finally we must get this equation. For this case, what is the formula is lambda m naught CH3COO NA, nothing but what? Lambda naught CH3CO minus Na plus lambda naught CH3COO minus plus lambda naught Na plus, isn't it? Then lambda naught HCl value substitute here. We'll get lambda naught H plus lambda naught Cl minus and what we have is lambda naught NaCl. Then we'll get lambda naught Na plus minus lambda naught Cl minus. Look at this. So CH3CO minus, this is the lambda naught Na plus lambda naught Na minus, these two it cancel. So lambda naught Cl minus lambda naught plus lambda naught Cl minus minus lambda naught Cl minus cancel. Then what we have here is lambda naught CH3COO minus plus lambda naught what we have is H plus. So this is lambda m naught CH3COOH. So what the point here is the limiting molar conductivities of weak electrolytes. The limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes we obtained from strong electrolytes. One strong electrolyte we selected is CH3CONA, another strong electrolyte we took here is HCl, another strong electrolyte we took here is NaCl. So the point is the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes are obtained from strong electrolytes by using Kohlrausch law. Next, let us take one more example for calculation of limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. I am taking here is ammonium hydroxide NH4OH. NH4OH is a weak electrolyte. Then for this case we have tried limiting molar conductivity lambda m naught representation. Lambda m naught NH4OH is equal to, this will be dissociated into NH4 plus OH minus. Then how do I write the representation of this NH4OH? Lambda naught NH4 plus limiting molar conductivity of NH4 ion, that means cation, plus limiting molar conductivity of anion, lambda naught OH minus. So we took a one weak electrolyte. This is the basic equation. Then next what we have to do is we have to select a strong electrolytes. We have to select a strong electrolytes that contains NH4 plus and OH minus. So I'll give some more example of strong electrolyte. I'm taking NH4Cl. So NH4Cl is a strong electrolyte, or you can take KOH. KOH is a strong electrolyte. NH4OH, NH4Cl and KOH is a strong electrolyte. Then come to here. We have, this is the weak electrolyte. We have to select a strong electrolyte that contains NH4 plus ion, and we have to select a strong electrolyte that contains OH minus ion. Now come to here. So here you can look at this NH4Cl. NH4Cl contain NH4 plus Cl minus. So the strong electrolyte contain NH4 plus ion, and we have to select one more strong electrolyte that contains OH minus. We can choose NaOH, Na plus OH minus. Here is we can choose KOH, K plus OH minus. Anything we can select. Then come to here. First I am taking lambda m naught NH4Cl. I am taking this NH4Cl. For this case we have tried limiting representation of limiting molar conductivity. That means lambda naught, what will get? NH4 plus Cl minus. Lambda naught NH4 plus lambda naught Cl minus, isn't it? And we have to select another strong electrolyte that contains OH minus. This is our basic equation. According to this equation you are taking them. So we have to select another strong electrolyte that contains OH minus. Here two possibilities. NaOH we can select, we can take or KOH also we can take, K plus OH minus, Na plus OH minus, anything we can take. Both are strong electrolytes. So I am taking here is KOH. We can take NaOH also. That is equal to lambda naught. We will get K plus lambda naught OH minus. OH minus. So we selected two strong electrolytes that contains common ion NH4 plus and OH minus. And here is K is not required for us. We required only NH4 value and OH minus value. We do not required K plus and Cl minus. So this one this one we have to remove. So we have to subtract. Which one? We have to select one common electrolyte that contains both K plus and Cl minus. Look at this. Look at this KCl. KCl contains K plus as well as Cl minus. Take that one. Lambda naught M KCl is equal to lambda naught K plus plus lambda naught Cl minus. So we selected three strong electrolytes. We selected three strong electrolytes. Next, what we have to do is NH4 plus, where it is there, this one, and OH minus, where it is, this one. So these two we have to add. These two we have to add, and next what we have to do, K plus we have to remove. Here is K plus we have to remove, Cl minus we have to remove. So that we have to these KCl we have to subtract from NH4 Cl and KOH. Then equation what you have ready is lambda m naught NH4 lambda m naught NH4OH is equal to lambda m naught NH4Cl, this one and this one we have to add, plus lambda m naught KOH minus lambda m naught KCl, isn't it? Then what we'll get is lambda m naught, this case NH4 plus Cl minus, write this one, lambda naught NH4 plus lambda naught Cl minus, plus for this case lambda naught K plus lambda naught OH minus KCl. How do you write lambda naught KCl, K plus Cl minus, lambda naught K plus minus lambda naught Cl minus, isn't it? So Cl minus plus lambda naught Cl minus minus lambda naught Cl minus cancel. Then plus lambda naught K plus minus lambda naught K plus cancel. Then remaining what we have is lambda naught NH4 plus lambda naught, remaining what we have is OH minus. This is lambda m naught NH4OH. So look at these two equations. If you compare these two equations are same. So this is our basic equation. So we got this equation from by taking a strong electrolyte. So the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes can be calculated from strong electrolyte. Otherwise the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes obtained from strong electrolytes by using Kohlrausch law. This is a first application, calculation of limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes. This is first application. Next application, calculation of degree of dissociation. This is second application. Calculation of degree of dissociation. Calculation of degree of dissociation. At any concentration C, if alpha is the degree of dissociation, then it can be approximated to the ratio of molar conductivity at concentration C and limiting molar conductivity. So what is meaning of this statement is alpha is equal to lambda m by lambda m naught. Alpha is equal to lambda m by lambda m naught. Here alpha is equal to degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation. Alpha is equal to degree of dissociation. Lambda m is equal to molar conductivity. Molar conductivity at concentration C. Here lambda m naught is equal to limiting molar conductivity. Limiting molar conductivity. So at a concentration, at any concentration C, if alpha is the degree of dissociation, then it can be approximated to the ratio of molar conductivity at concentration C, ratio of molar conductivity at concentration C, and limiting molar conductivity. So this is calculation of degree of dissociation. Simply alpha is equal to degree of dissociation. Alpha is equal to lambda m by lambda m naught. Alpha is the degree of dissociation. Lambda m is the molar conductivity at a concentration C. And lambda m naught is the limiting molar conductivity. By using this formula, we are able to calculate a degree of dissociation of a weak electrolyte. This is second application. Next application, calculation of dissociation constant of a weak electrolyte. This is third application. Calculation of dissociation constant of weak electrolytes. Calculation of dissociation constant of a weak electrolyte. Weak electrolytes do not dissociate completely, and equilibrium exists between ionized and unionized molecules. First write the statement. Weak electrolytes do not dissociate completely, and equilibrium exists between ionized and unionized molecule. Equilibrium exists between ionized and unionized molecule. Unionized molecules. What is the meaning of this statement is, I am taking an example of acetic acid, CH3COOH. This is weak electrolyte, acetic acid. This will be dissociate in aqueous medium into CH3COO minus plus H plus. Acetic acid dissociate into CH3COO minus and H plus. So this is ionized and this is unionized. So there is equilibrium exists between ionized and unionized molecules. This is the equilibrium exists between ionized and unionized molecule. So initial, the concentration of the CH3COOH I am taking as C. Its concentration I am labeling as C. And the initial concentration of CH3COO minus will be taken as 0. Initial concentration, the CH3COOH do not ionized. So there is no ionization in the sense, there is no formation of CH3COO minus and H plus. So that its concentration initially taken as 0 and H plus and concentration also taken as 0. So why do we take 0? Because the molecule is not ionized. If it is not ionized in the sense, there is no CH3COO minus and there is no H plus. So the concentration initially will be taken as 0. So after some time, equilibrium is formed between ionized and unionized. At equilibrium, so its this concentration I am labeling as C. Concentration of CH3CO minus is C, and concentration of H plus on labeling as C. The degree of dissociation is alpha. Here also degree of dissociation is alpha. This meaning is at equilibrium some reactant CH3COH dissociated into their respective ions. CH3COH dissociated into their respective ions. So the concentration is C alpha. Its concentration is C alpha. Then concentration of this acetic acid equilibrium is C minus C alpha. C minus C alpha. Right. Then there is equilibrium exists between the ionized and unionized. We can write the equilibrium constant K is equal to. So equilibrium constant K is equal to concentrations of products by concentrations of reactant. What is the product we have is CH3COO minus. Concentration of product, and one other concentration is another one is H plus, concentration of H plus. So concentration of CH3CO minus and concentration of H plus. Concentrations of products by concentration of what we have right reactant. What is that? CH3COOH. Concentration of products by concentration of reactant. Then K is equal to concentration of CH3CO minus. What we have take C alpha. C alpha into concentration of H plus we can take as C alpha. Concentration of CH3CO minus is C alpha. Concentration of H plus is C alpha. It is the concentration by concentration of CH3COH at equilibrium C minus C alpha. C minus C alpha, isn't it? That is equal to C square alpha square. C into C square alpha square by C we can take common 1 minus alpha. And minus alpha. Here C will be get cancelled. Then K is equal to C alpha square by 1 minus alpha. C alpha square by 1 minus alpha. This is equation number 1. I'm labeling as equation number 1. Then we know that degree of dissociation alpha is equal to lambda m by lambda m naught. Lambda m by lambda m naught. This equation I am labeling as C. Here alpha is the degree of dissociation, lambda m is the molar conductivity at concentration C. Lambda m naught is the limiting molar conductivity. Then we have to substitute this alpha value here. This is simply substitute the second equation in first equation. In the place of alpha, this alpha we can substitute this one. Then what we will get is K. K is equal to C. In the place of alpha square you have to write lambda m by lambda naught. Lambda m by lambda m naught square, alpha square is there, by and 1 minus lambda m by lambda m naught. In the place of alpha we wrote lambda m by lambda m naught. Then K is equal to C into lambda m square by lambda m naught square into 1 minus lambda m by lambda m naught. Upon simplification you will get K is equal to C lambda m square by lambda m naught minus lambda m. So this is the final equation we will get. So by using this equation we are able to calculate dissociation constant of weak alkalides. So these are the applications of Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions. This is Kohlrausch law.